Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson. Good morning to you, Senator. So the government clock is once again ticking with only a few weeks left before the spending bills must be done. I know the Senate recently passed some, the House is passing some. Do you think we're going to get most of these done before the deadline, or are we just going to kick the can down the road again?
Good morning. I think it's pretty much up to the Democrats whether they are willing to fund DHS, whether they're willing to fund defense. Sure seems like Republican appropriators, both the Senate and the House, are doing everything they can to get these bills passed. Quite honestly, no Republican wants a shutdown. Again, I've been very skeptical. I don't believe the initial shutdown was really about health care. I think it's just the Democrats wanted to deny Republicans any kind of success whatsoever. They may have sobered up since the last one. I don't think they won that as resoundingly as they thought they would have. So again, it's just hard. It's hard to predict.
Yeah. Senator, you mentioned health care. I do want to specifically talk about this health care package. I mean, a recent Political article claiming a group of bipartisan lawmakers in the Senate will not have legislation until the last week of January. My goodness, sir. That's cutting it pretty close. Your thoughts?
Well, first of all, it's really been misreported. The subsidies under Obamacare are not going away. The enhanced subsidies would expire, but for the more than 22 million of the 24 million supposedly on the exchange, about 6 million of those are probably phantom policies caused by the enhanced subsidies. But 22.5 million of those people will still get the original Obamacare subsidies, which are very generous. There's only about 1.6 million people above 400% of the poverty line whose subsidies go away from the enhanced subsidies. And those people actually I'm quite sympathetic with. A lot of them were lured into retirement because of those enhanced subsidies. Because of Obamacare, the premiums on the individual's exchange are outrageous, approaching $36,000 to $38,000 per year. And I'm actually working with some Democrat senators to address that specific problem. But extending the enhanced subsidies for everybody just makes no sense. It would perpetuate that massive fraud. It probably costs about $30 billion a year because of no premium policies. And those probably about 6 million of the 24 million were phantom policies. The unscrupulous insurance brokers got the commission. The insurance companies got their premium. Didn't have to pay any claims. So again, that needs to be addressed. I'm not sure this whatever these folks are talking about is going to address that adequately.
Yeah, Senator, I'd like to shift gears here a little bit and get your thoughts on former President Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton refusing House subpoenas by the Oversight Committee, refusing to testify on the Epstein matter. Now, House Oversight Committee Chairman Jim Comer announced he wants to hold former President Clinton in contempt of Congress. I know that's the other side of the aisle, the other side of the chamber in the House. But what's your thought? I mean, obviously, if no one's above the law, Peter Navarro went to prison for refusing a congressional subpoena. I would think the same thing might hold true for the Clintons.
Well, the pictures alone appear quite incriminating. If he has nothing to hide, he ought to come before the House and testify. And so if the House votes contempt, then it'll be up to Pam Bondi to determine whether she wants to prosecute. But yeah, we should have similar rules. Obviously, Republicans get convicted of contempt. Democrats always seem to escape that type of prosecution.
Yeah. Again, nobody is above the law. Senator, before we go, while we have you, I do want to ask you, so in Minnesota, we're seeing widespread protests against federal law enforcement. People just continuing to block agents' cars, follow their convoys. I mean, it has been violent. And you have state officials now suing the federal government. What do you make of this situation? And do you see those suits actually going anywhere?
First of all, this is what a real insurrection looks like. This is an insurrection that is ginned up and incentivized, incited by the radical left, which is now the Democrat Party. So the tragedy, the shooting should not have happened. But again, this is they're training people to do what that woman did. And again, this is completely contrary to the rule of law. Democrats open up the border. They create this mess. Cleaning up this mess is not easy, but you need to support law enforcement. And the last thing you should do is obstruct justice. And that's unfortunately what the woman did, and she lost her life.
Yeah. Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson, really appreciate your time this morning. Thank you so much.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.